Hey, how's it going, everyone? So today we're going to be going over pipe tobacco 101. If you're watching this video, you're probably interested in pipe tobacco and how you can get started smoking a pipe. So I'm going to be going over everything that you need to know, from basics, setup, what you need, and just the cheapest options to get into the hobby and see if you're going to enjoy it. So let's get right into this. All right, so you're wanting to get started in pipe tobacco and you don't really know where to start. So this is the biggest thing. There is a lot to learn within the pipe tobacco world. So that's why I always tell people when they're beginning, just start with the basics. Don't try to get too deep into it. Don't get bogged down in everything, whether or not you like vapors or English or all this stuff. Just stick to the simple and stick to the cheap, because you may or may not like it. So here are my 3 things that I think that you need to do right off the bat. So I'm gonna plug one of my favorite sites that I use a lot, which is pipesandcigars.com. I think for the beginner, this place is gonna be phenomenal. Anything over $100, you get free shipping. They have a bunch of promo codes. They do stuff for veterans. I believe it's like 15% off for veterans, and all you got to do is call into their service. It's very nice. So the things that you need when you're going to be starting is you're going to need a pipe, a lighter, and a tool. And we'll go over all these. Those are the tools that you're going to need. And then finally, you're going to need your pipe tobacco. But do you need a fancy pipe? Do you need to spend $150 on a pipe? Absolutely not. When you start, I'm going to link them here below. They'll show up in front of me. So this is a very expensive corncob pipe. I think it's expensive, but this is one of the more expensive ones. I would suggest getting 3 of the cheaper ones that you can find from Pipes and Cigars. Now, these pipes are going to be anywhere from $4 to $8 a piece. Then, you see me using this here. I use this all the time in my videos. This is a gas station Bic lighter, $1.50 to $2. This is a pipe tool. So we'll go over more of what the pipe tool does later, but it's got 3 things. It has a little bit of a scoop. It has the tamper side over here that you can kind of push down into the bowl, and it has a nice little scraper. So these, on a lot of sites, including Pipes and Cigars, you can get these free on some specials, which if I have a promo right now, I'll link down below. If not, I'm pretty sure Pipes and Cigars is a couple of bucks for a multi-tool like this. That's all you need. So that's the 3 things, the 3 tools that you need. You don't need anything fancier than that. And then the pipe tobacco. Now, here's my thing. When you're starting out, you don't know what you like. So I suggest that you get 3 of your corncob pipes. So you're going to get 3 of the corncob pipes, 1 lighter, and a tool. And then you're going to buy a English tobacco, a Virginia tobacco, and then you're also going to buy an aromatic. Now, there are a lot of options, and that may not mean anything to you. So what I'm going to suggest is what I list here. Your English, I would suggest starting out with GLP's Westminster or Squadron Leader. Both of them have very nice, rich, smoky Latakia and a little bit of spice. So it'll give you exactly what a good, bold English is. Those are my 2 options there. Then when it comes to the Virginia, I would go personally with Orlik Golden Slice. Now, the other option that is very good as well, and I very much enjoy, is Capstan Blue. You can do either of those 2, and you'll be perfectly happy if you enjoy Virginias. And then finally, personally myself, I'm not an aromatics person, and aromatics are basically when they add a casing onto the tobacco that gives it flavors, and they flavor it in different ways. But I would say probably the most widely accepted aromatic, in my opinion, would be starting out with Autumn Evening. So those are the ones that I would suggest. I have them listed here. So Westminster or Squadron Leader as your English, which is your bolder blend, and it's going to be a little smokier, a little deeper, richer flavor. Then you're going to have your Orlik Golden Slice or your Capstan Blue, which is going to be your straight Virginia, which is going to be sweet, a little bit like tea or hay, and it's going to be very mild. And then you have your aromatic, which is going to be very mild like the Virginias, but then you're going to have the casing and the flavor. Autumn Evening is a little bit of maple, and it's a very good fall aromatic. It's one of my favorites. So that's where I would go with those. And on to the next part, we'll talk about packing your bowl. All right, so we're back. Now, you're going to see a lot of stuff if you start researching online how you should properly pack and light your bowl for tobacco. There are a bunch of people that are going to tell you that you have to do it certain ways. That is 100% not true. You don't have to do it any certain way. You can be a Neanderthal like me, and you can just pack it however you want. It's not that big of a deal. It'll still light. Now, do we have recommendations of how we should do it? Absolutely. So I'm going to give you my Neanderthal way recommendations of how you should pack a bowl. So let's get into it. So first off, with the tobacco, highly recommend. Now you can see here that my tobacco has been opened and I've been smoking quite a lot of it, so it doesn't really need to air out as much. Now when you are opening up your fresh tin at home, I would very much recommend opening it up, grabbing a good handful and just putting it out on something and letting it sit out for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. This is going to help dry it out, make sure that it's not too moist, and just really kind of mellow everything out and get it ready for packing your bowl. Now, we're going to skip to this part because this stuff is already nice and dried and completely ready for me to smoke. Now, like I said, you're going to see a bunch of stuff of how you should do this. Here is my Neanderthal way. I just like to grab a good handful of it and kind of pour it into the bowl. And as I pour it into the bowl, I use my pointer finger and I'll push it down at first. And I push it down a little tight, but you still want to be able to draw through, so you don't want it so tight. So I would say medium pressure, push it down. Now, your next one, you pull in and you fill it, do the same thing. And if you don't want to use your finger, guess what? That's what the pipe tool's for. So you can just pack that down in, just like that. And again, medium pressure on this second push. So then still can pull through. Then you take the final little bit, you put it up, and you can see now it's like overflowing on the pipe. So this one, I'll push down just lightly, very lightly, just enough to get it down into the bowl. Perfect. As you can see, you now have a perfectly packed pipe. So give me just a minute, I'll be right back. All right, so now you're ready to light your pipe. Now this part seems to get a lot of people, and it's mostly because a lot of people don't realize going into it that there's this thing called a false light. So the first time that you light your pipe tobacco right off of the top, it's not going to light. It's not going to light and stay. So I'll show you. What you have to do is you do your false light first, which is the first light all the way around the bowl. Okay. Now you see how quickly that went out? What you do is you take your tamper and you push it down. Now when you push it down this time, I always push it down very hard. I want to make sure that it's nicely tamped down into the bowl. I'm going to show you how far I actually tamp it down, just so you can understand how far I push down. So you saw how close to the lip it was. Now you can see it's probably a fourth of the way down the bowl. But that little ashen layer is going to make the next light stick. So if you see, look, nothing. Now, when I do the next light, perfect. So now you have a well-lit pipe that's going to smoke. If you want to keep puffing on it, it's going to smoke however long you want to smoke it. See the ash in there? It's perfectly lit. Now, every now and then, probably every 3 to 5 minutes, just push the ash down and it'll relight the stuff below it. And it just continues that process and you don't have to light it anymore. And you can keep your pipe lit the entire time just by doing that. So, now let's go to the next part. And see, the next part is really easy, which is just simply enjoying your pipe. So that's really it, guys. What you're going to do exactly what I said. Just find you 1 or 2 Englishes that you want to try, 1 or 2 Virginias, and an aromatic. Stick with the pipe, get a tool, get you a cheap lighter. You don't need anything else. And just enjoy the pipe. It's really not that difficult. Just very simple steps that'll get you to that point. Part 2 of this series is going to be me breaking down all of the intricate parts of the pipe tobacco, meaning we're going to go over what Virginia Orientals are. We're going to go over what Latakia-based Orientals. We're going to go over straight Virginias compared to Virginias with Perique or a vapor. And then we're going to go over Weber's Virginia Burleys. And then we'll go over all this other fun stuff that we get into. But just to get you into the hobby, welcome. Something else that's just a bonus that I would highly recommend. Find a forum online or some buddies to smoke with. Ones that I would highly recommend. I'm part of Spez Online, which is the Speakeasy forum. We're a bunch of degenerates over there, but you know what? We're good people. We'll help you with anything that you need. We're always on. So come and hang out with us, introduce yourself, and ask us any questions that you have. And then just find a good community. The YouTube pipe community is phenomenal. Everybody here is really, really nice. Just ask us any questions that you have. I really hope that you get into the hobby. If you have any questions, please just comment down below. Ask me. I'll be more than happy. I answer all my comments. So, again, if you guys enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you all in the next video.